Welcome to today's explainer. Man, I am absolutely pumped to jump right into this one with you because we're unpacking a framework that honestly has the potential to completely rewire how you approach your daily grind. We're breaking down John Gordon's 2007 motivational powerhouse, The Energy Bus: 10 Rules to Fuel Your Life, Work, and Team with Positive Energy. If you've ever felt like you're just a passenger in your own life, just being driven around by circumstances, stress, or what other people demand of you, then this is exactly the explainer you need right now. We're going to map out Gordon's 10 rules so you can see exactly how to take the wheel back.
So let me ask you, have you ever felt completely down to your bones exhausted, just negative and entirely stuck in a rut, whether that's at work or at home? Look, if we're being honest with ourselves, every single one of us can say yes to that at some point. It is so incredibly easy to get bogged down by the sheer weight of daily pressures, right? To the point where your absolute baseline just becomes negativity and fatigue. It's a really painful place to be, and it's exactly the pain point this entire framework is built to tackle. To understand the solution, we first need to look at the problem. And that brings us to the core story of the book. Meet George. George's life is, well, it's effectively falling apart. His marriage is on the rocks, his job is crushing him with pressure, his team is completely unmotivated, and he is pretty much the ultimate poster child for burnout. But then, life forces his hand. His car breaks down, probably right after he spilled his morning coffee, right? And he's forced to take the local bus to work. And that is where he meets a bus driver named Joy, who becomes this completely unexpected mentor. Joy teaches George that his life is exactly like a bus, and right now, he's sitting all the way in the back seat. So the crucial point is Joy's central message to George, and it actually becomes the foundational theme of our entire explainer today. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can control your attitude, choices, and response. I know, it sounds super simple on the surface, but truly internalizing this, it's a massive paradigm shift. It takes you from being a victim of your circumstances and turns you into an active, intentional participant in your own reality. Okay, let's dive into this first section, Taking the Wheel, which covers rules 1 through 3. Rule 1 is the absolute bedrock of the whole system. You are the driver of your bus. You have to take responsibility. Think about George's old negative mindset for a second. He'd say, "My boss makes me unhappy." Do you see how that statement gives literally all his power away? It implies he's entirely at the mercy of whatever mood his boss happens to be in. But let's contrast that with constructive action. How can I choose my response to this situation? By simply asking that one question, you're putting your hands firmly back on the steering wheel. You're acknowledging that, hey, maybe you didn't create the traffic jam, but you absolutely get to decide how you navigate through it. Once you're sitting in that driver's seat, you need to actually know where you're going. And that brings us to rule 2. Desire, vision, and focus move your bus. Vague desires? They get you nowhere. Saying something like, "I want my career to improve," is just too abstract. It doesn't give you a roadmap. But listen to this specific goal. I want to become an excellent optometrist and develop strong clinical skills. When you have a clear, highly specific destination like that, your daily decisions suddenly become so much easier. You know exactly what you need to focus your energy on today to get to where you want to be tomorrow. And speaking of energy, Rule 3 tells us to fuel our ride with positive energy. It really all comes down to a simple choice of fuel. On one hand, negative thoughts are the fuel for fear, stress, and complaining, things that actively drain your motivation. On the other hand, positive thoughts generate confidence, persistence, and creativity. Now, I want to be incredibly clear about something here. Positive thinking doesn't mean you just slap a fake smile on your face and pretend your problems don't exist. That's toxic positivity. True positive energy is about looking a tough problem dead in the eye and asking, okay, what can I do about this? It's about choosing the mental fuel that actually supports constructive action. To pull those first 3 rules together, the source material gives us this brilliant, really concrete formula for turning an abstract desire into reality. Step 1, vision. Step 2, goals. Step 3, daily actions. And step 4, results. So if your vision is to be an excellent healthcare professional, your goal is to improve your clinical knowledge. Your daily action is to study one clinical topic every single day. The result? You gradually build stronger knowledge and this unshakable confidence. It's literally a step-by-step process to manufacture your own momentum. But here's the thing about driving a bus. You usually aren't doing it alone, which brings us to a really vital question. Who exactly are you inviting on your bus? This moves us smoothly right into our next section, choosing your passengers, which is going to cover rules 4 through 8. Rule 4 is all about inviting people and sharing your vision. A successful team desperately needs a shared destination. As a leader, you've got to explain your vision, communicate it clearly, encourage participation, and build trust. Think about it. Imagine you manage a clinic. If you just walk in on a Monday morning and shout, work harder, you're going to get zero buy-in. But if you follow this rule and say, hey, our goal is to provide excellent patient care with minimum waiting time. Let's decide together how we can improve our process. You instantly create ownership. You aren't just telling people to get on the bus. You're showing them the map and asking them to help you navigate. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it addresses the messy reality of human dynamics. Rule 5 warns us against wasting energy on what the book calls energy vampires. These are the folks who constantly complain, criticize, discourage everyone around them, and just focus entirely on problems without ever looking for a solution. The crucial takeaway here isn't to hate these people or treat them terribly. It's actually about protecting your own mindset. As the driver, you have to set strict boundaries so their negativity doesn't hijack your steering wheel and derail your whole team. Once you finally have the right people on board, Rules 6, 7, and 8 dictate how you lead them. First up, recognize and encourage others. A simple, sincere, hey, you did a great job on that, has a wildly powerful effect. Second, show genuine enthusiasm. It's contagious. When a leader shows up with real passion and commitment, the team naturally engages. And finally, love and respect your passengers. In business, employees are not just cogs in a machine. They're human beings. When you take the time to listen to them, support their development, and treat them with genuine dignity, their performance skyrockets. Why? Because they actually feel valued. Let's move to and see how this builds into our final section, enjoying the ride, focusing on Rules 9 and 10. Rule 9 is to drive with purpose. You really need to look beyond the paycheck. Ask yourself, who actually benefits from my work? What contribution am I really making here? Finding that deeper meaning is exactly what keeps you driving when the road gets rough. And Rule 10? Have fun and enjoy the journey. Success isn't just about finally arriving at the destination. It's about enjoying the learning, the relationships you build along the way, and celebrating those small achievements, like, buying pizza for the team after a record week. A highly productive workplace can and absolutely should still be a genuinely enjoyable place to be. Now, before we wrap up, it's vital to impartially ground this whole philosophy with a quick reality check. Positive thinking should not replace realistic planning, evidence, problem solving, or professional advice. The Energy Bus is a motivational leadership framework. It's not a strict scientific law. High energy and optimism are incredible tools for building momentum, for sure, but they have to be paired with real-world execution, solid data, and hard work to actually get you to your destination safely. And this brilliantly illustrates the climax of our entire explainer. You may not control the road, but you can choose how you drive your bus. Look, you cannot predict every single traffic jam, every unexpected detour, or the crazy actions of every other driver out there. But you have absolute, unyielding control over your attitude, your vision, and how you choose to respond to the bumps along the way. That is where your true power lies. Which leaves us with this final critical thought to chew on. I want you to ask yourself honestly, where do you want to go and who is driving your bus today? Are you sitting up front in the driver's seat with a clear vision, or have you let stress, negative colleagues, or random circumstances take the wheel? The choice is entirely yours. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I hope you're ready to take the wheel.